Right, let's begin to look towards the Dundee derby then. 3 of the last 4 Dundee derbies have been drawn, in fact, and the 2 managers will be looking forward to this one, as indeed will the fans, phoning home to let everyone know that they're there. Let's hear from the 2 managers then. Jim Duffy's voice has been better. He's been overdoing the karaoke again.
This game today, Jim, it's Dundee derbies. We've had some great matches over the last few seasons.
Yeah, I think the matches have been, quite evenly contested. And I think today, certainly from our point of view, we want to make sure it's at least even and hopefully get a little break and get the victory.
Has it been difficult for you with events, obviously the well-publicised events now, and more talk of another possible takeover bid? Is it difficult to go on with what in the dressing room?
Well, sometimes it is, but I think if you look at just about every club in the country who's in administration, they all seem to struggle a little bit. I think psychologically there's more of an effect than we actually think should happen. But I think our spirit's been great. I think in every game, I don't think it's been a game we've been overrun at all. But obviously you lose a little bit of quality, but we're getting there again. We've got Steve Oliver back fit, Stephen Milne back fit, Brent Sancho. So I think we're getting there, and I think we'll get a little bit better as the season progresses now. And
just a wee word about what Dundee are going through. Is that an added edge to the game today?
Well, no, I don't think so. I think the edge is there anyway. I think Jim's conducted himself admirably. I mean, I know what he's been through. I think what I went through is probably worse, but guys don't know about it because it was at a lower level. So he's done very well to come through it, and so have the players. I think it does tend to bring you together. That's what I experienced anyway.
And it's better if 2 teams in the one set in the division. You would want Dundee to stay up.
Well, these games are fantastic. I mean, you were at the last one. It was a great game. The fans were brilliant, and I'd hate to think that there wouldn't be many of these fixtures left, to be honest.
Thanks, Shane.
Cheers, chap.
Okay. Yes, always a great atmosphere at the Dundee derby. Let's pick out a couple of the potential key players in this afternoon's match, and well, whether or not it's his last game for Dundee, Nacho Novo, we're looking to add to his, 18 goals this season now. He's a phenomenon, Stuart, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got great pace, very difficult to play against, but he's intelligent player as well. I mean, we've suffered at the hands of him a few times in the last couple of seasons. See here, he got a couple of goals against us. That's a fantastic finish on the term. Yeah, it's just obviously you see the way he can beat players with his pace, but he does use it well. His movement's very good, and I think 18 goals speaks for itself.
He scores all kinds of goals, but he's got so much skill, hasn't he? Nacho Novo, obviously a contender for man of the match today, but so too will be Billy Dodds for Dundee United, who's been around forever and still scoring goals, Derek, isn't he?
Yeah, without doubt. I mean, 216 career goals, fantastic player, great guy to have about the club, great professional, played with him at Aberdeen in Scotland, and still going strong, Dodge. I think he's 35 next month, but he's still good as ever. For me, this goal coming up here, this is just typical Billy Dodds. That's Dodgy. We're speaking earlier again. We never see him score from outside the box. Very rarely do. And that's it again. Sometimes he's so quiet in the match, maybe not doing much, and then he pops up. He's a great finisher. Fantastic.
He just watches his run here. The positioning is absolutely spot on.
So just using all his experience there, getting into the right areas and finishing. Very, very good player.
So those are clearly 2 of the contenders for man of the match this afternoon. As always, Sandy will be picking his choice towards the end of the game, and if yours agrees with Sandy's, you could win either his jersey, an SPL Family Match Day Out, or Pro Evolution Soccer 3 for PlayStation 2, all courtesy of the Bank of Scotland. 09011 110 861. Give us a call. All right then, what kind of game is it going to be? Give us a prediction, Stuart.
Well, I just had a look at the last 4 seasons. I think there are 11 games, 5 draws and 3 wins apiece, so it's got to be a high-scoring draw.
A high-scoring draw, Derek?
I'll go with that as well. Plenty of goals today.
All right, so 4 each the boys are tipping. Let's find out whether they're right. Dundee, of course, would love a derby lift to lift those dark clouds which have been hovering over the ground for the last few months. And, of course, some familiar faces have gone from that last meeting. So can Jim Duffy see some blue sky over Dens at last? Let's find out. It's the Dundee derby with Sandy and Rob.
It doesn't look it, but the Dundee derby is nearly 90 years old. The first one was played in 1915. Dundee United were Dundee Hibs then. It's a rivalry that's only intensified with the passing decades. How they hate each other from either side of the street. These are the teams Firstly, Dundee, and 22-year-old midfielder Neil Barrett, who's just got here on loan from Portsmouth, is pitched straight into the Dundee derby. Mark Fotheringham is back in the side. He was suspended for the cup match in midweek. And Stephen Milne, after serious knee problems, is deemed fit enough to make his first start of the season. 3 youngsters drop out: Neil Jablonski, Stephen Robb and Bobby Lynn, none of whom did themselves any harm whatsoever with their cup showings against Aberdeen on Wednesday night.
I'll be the usual 4 at the back for Dundee today. The midfield area will certainly be interesting, to say the least. Young Neil Barrett, that you mentioned, Rob, we think he's going to play wide on the right-hand side. I'm sure Barry Smith will protect the back 4, allowing Mark Fotheringham to get up and support the front 2. And Nacho Novo, he'll be delighted to have Stephen Milne back in beside him. Novo is in an incredible season, to say the least, but there's far too much pressure on him because of the Dundee circumstances. Milne will help him today.
That's Dundee. This is Dundee United. No Chris Innes or Jim McIntyre, or long-term absentee Scott Patterson. 2 changes for Ian McCall from the team which beat Aberdeen across the road last weekend. One switch at left back, where Jim Patterson is preferred to Stuart Duff. The other change sees Colin Samuel drop out and Charlie Miller in from the start.
I'm sure it'll be a 4-4-2 for Ian McCall, certainly the start of the match. The back 4 looks after itself. Andy McLaren will certainly play up front, but who will play beside him? That's going to be the question. Billy Dodds has been playing off the front. He's been having a lot of success here, scoring goals. So Ian McCall might well want them to play in that area, and Charlie Miller could be the one to partner McLaren at spells in the game.
Well, the last Dundee derby was 3 months ago. A lot's changed in that time for the home team. In that game in October, Ray, Ravanelli, Caballero, Burley and Sara all featured. They've all since been sacked. The likes of Nemzadze and Carranza as well. Not quite all change, but not far from it. Dundee United ready to emerge into the Tayside sunshine. Dundee will join them shortly in that very confined space known as the tunnel area. Barry Smith and Derek McInnes, the Derby captains. Don't forget your armband, Barry. Barry Smith, who rattled in that cracking goal last weekend at Firhill against Partick Thistle. A chill will be running down the spine of Derek White in the studio at the very mention of that. The second Dundee derby of the season. And the first one was live on the BBC as well, back in October. 1-1, remember? Nacho Novo's penalty in the first half, cancelled out by Jim McIntyre's header in the second. It was that classic game of 2 halves. Dundee dominated early on. Dundee United mounted quite a recovery after half-time. It finished all square. All weekend, the message is show racism, the red card. Demonstrations at all the games yesterday and again today. Well, a lot of conjecture surrounding this man, Nacho Novo. Will he stay with Dundee beyond the end of January? Will someone come up with the cash which prices him away from Dens Park? He's in irrepressible form at the moment. He's played in all 28 games for Dundee this season, and he even manages to shake off a cameraman, however tight the marking may be. Alan Freeland is the referee, and you may remember he handled the game here last season, which started but didn't finish. It was Dundee against Hibs, and the blizzards struck that day. In contrast, sunshine over Dens this Sunday afternoon. Julian Speroni, another Dundee player who wondered what his future might be, the goalkeeper of no small ability. The Dundee barber has been at work on Novo and Milne by the looks of it. One haircut suits all. Dundee against Dundee United. live on the BBC, and the first free kick after about 2.3 seconds. I made that one.
I think you're right, Rob. Mark Fotheringham, right from the kick-off, attacking the Dundee defence. I think it was Charlie Mullin that brought him down. It's a marvellous day for a game, perfect conditions.
An early chance for Lee Wilkie to try to shake up the Dundee United defence at this set piece. Played in by Fotheringham. Here is Wilkie. Charlie Miller's pass to Barry Robson. That's Mark Wilson. Andy McLaren gave pursuit, not much chance of catching it.
Wasn't too far away from that one, Andy McLaren. Good ball from Mark Wilson.
That's good play from the teenager Wilson. That's Neil Barrett, wearing 23, new boy. He'll do well to remember all the names. He's barely been here. Billy Dodds lofts it out wide, where Mark Wilson has found some space. Too much on the long ball. And through again with Speroni, who has kept up a very high level of goalkeeping during his time with Dundee. Dave Mackay probing at the United defence, looking for Novo. Jim Patterson got his head to it. Very quickly into the tackle against Smith, there was Miller. In from Mackay, played away by David McCracken. Free kick given against Gary Brady.
I don't think Gary Brady agrees with that one. I think it was more ball to hand than anything else.
Don't know what he can be scribbling after 3 minutes, but making the first entry. Away by Hernandez. Every tackle means something in the Dundee derby. Barrett to Milne. Fotheringham over the top for Novo. Not quite over the top, because McCracken stretched out to win the header.
I'm pretty certain Dundee's tactics today will be trying to try and get the ball over the Dundee United back four to try and use the pace in Nacho Novo. It worked so well at Tannadice earlier in the season.
Hernandez to Novo. And the snapshot from Barrett didn't catch it. Lee Wilkie with McLaren and Dodds bearing down on him. Did well to get the pass through to Neil Barrett, who promptly gave it away. Mark Kerr. McCracken's pass, asking no questions of Lee Mayer. Milne gets his pass away to Mackay. Patterson intercepted the pass aimed at Novo.
That's good pressure from Dundee. Mackay and Stephen Milne putting Patterson under pressure. Had to play the ball early.
Dave Mackay having a long look, and Barrett slipped with the ball heading towards him. Charlie Miller, Jim Patterson, and shutting him down very quickly was Barrett. On loan till the end of the season, Neil Barrett, Dundee. Not what Derek McInnes was planning. Had a spell at Chelsea as a youngster, and more recently with Portsmouth, but needing first-team football. Stephen Milne against Jim Patterson. Does well, Milne, to force the corner.
That's good determination there from Stephen Milne. I think Jim Patterson's trying to see there the ball was out before he actually touched it. And the linesman was only 2 yards away.
Lee Wilkie positioning himself at the back post. Lee Mayer is there as well. Played in by Gary Brady. There is Wilkie. The sting taken out of his shot. And an easy stop in the end for Paul Gallagher.
This is a chance eventually for big Lee Wilkie. Does well to get anything on the ball at all.
I think it struck Novo.
It did. I don't think it's going in anyway. I think the goalkeeper may well have got there, but Novo took all the sting out the shot.
That's Alan Archibald under pressure as he played that downfield. As we've been saying, there's generally little choose between them, these two. 3 of the last 4 Dundee derbies have been draws, and the last time there was more than a goal in it was over 3 years ago. Dundee United 2 points better off than Dundee at the moment. Archibald's free kick aimed at McLaren.
Really not much chance Andy McLaren winning that header. Too much of a 50-50 ball.
Lee Mayer's clearance. David McCracken's decisive header. And that's a wayward one from Hernandez, which just hands possession back to United. Charlie Miller was caught by the late challenge of Barrett.
That's 2 in a row from Neil Barrett.
Good layoff from Milne for Fotheringham. That's for Novo. Gallagher has it. And out to Patterson. Good challenge, Mackay and Robson. Wilson. Kerr. McLaren with Wilkie at his back. It's Barry Robson. And that's a good challenge from Neil Barrett. So important that he got something in there, otherwise Robson could have scored.
He's unlucky, Barry Robson. This is a good move from United. Charlie Miller right up beside the strikers there. That's a good challenge from Barrett. Stop Robson getting the shot on target.
Well, it's interesting to see what Dundee United are doing here. They started off with Billy Dodds up front alongside Andy McLaren. Now it's Charlie Miller and Andy McLaren, which is something a bit radical from Ian McCall. And Billy Dodds playing off, Sandy.
Yep, it's Dodds has been playing in the last few weeks, and he's scored a few goals recently, so I think that's Ian McCall's thinking. Keep him in the position where he's getting goals for the team. And Charlie Miller's such a good footballer, he should be able to play up front beside McLaren without any problems whatsoever.
Good work from Neil Barrett. Dave Mackay on the overlap. First touch was a bad one. And that allowed Mark Kerr to get across and get the ball out of play. Stephen Milne trying to make himself available. Now Brady. Barry Smith's cross. Well defended by United. And I guess the idea but with Charlie Miller as well, Sandy, is that he gets in about the feet of Lee Wilkie, and if United get the right sort of ammunition up to him, he can be a real problem.
The one thing about United, they'll have to play the ball to Charlie Miller's feet. Over the top will be no use to him. As you said, in about the big central defenders, ball into feet, to see if he can produce some magic for them.
Miller's layoff to McLaren. Here's Derek McInnes. Jim Patterson linking down the left side with Barry Robson. Miller again, doing exactly what's expected of him. Lee Mayer's header. Kerr gets the better of Brady. Now Dodds. Kerr's cross deflected off Hernandez. And Julian Speroni has it.
The Dundee fans not too happy. Andy McLaren challenged the goalkeeper there. He's right to go for the ball. He was bouncing high in the air.
That's McCracken. Fotheringham. Barrett. That's a foul by Robson. And as Barrett settles to this atmosphere, you can see he can play.
He looks like a decent player. Good first touch there. Just slipped it past Barry Robson, enticing the challenge to win the free kick.
Jim Duffy's Portsmouth links working out again, and with the arrival of Barrett, Lovell and Brady came via that direction as well. Fotheringham's free kick, no challenge at all on Archibald as he headed clear. Back from Brady. Now with Barry Smith. Grappling for possession, Miller and Fotheringham. It's Dundee's free kick.
It was a free kick. Charlie Miller working hard here to close down Fotheringham. You see, there's really not a lot. The two of them are having a go at each other. I think the fact that Fotheringham was in possession of the ball, that's why he's been awarded a free kick.
Played in by Mark Fotheringham. And away by David McCracken. Charlie Miller spreading the play. Derek McInnes on the ball. Kerr, Dodds. McCracken's pass. Away by Hernandez, not convincingly clear though. McLaren lofts it in. It was a dangerous looking ball, and it was well read by Julian Speroni.
That was good play from the goalkeeper. Made up his mind to come all the way.
Archibald's clearance. Barrett. Novo. Couldn't get it controlled. And now Archibald. Poor pass. Charlie Miller makes the best of it. Derek McInnes over the top of Barry Smith's head. Good recovery from the Dundee skipper. Lee Wilkie for Stephen Milne. Keeping himself onside. Milne's cross. David McCracken attacking the ball well in the penalty box. A bit of slipping and sliding around on the playing surface at the moment. Smith to Brady. Stooping to head clear was Jim Patterson. Barry Robson. McInnes. Miller. Infield for Archibald. Mark Wilson, who made his Dundee Derby debut at the age of 17 2 years ago. Billy Dodds burrowing around the midfield, given away by Kerr. Back from Novo to Fotheringham. Offside is Stephen Milne. Just a reminder of the Man of the Match telephone number, 09011 110 861. Sign Man of the Match top, Bank of Scotland Family Match Day, Pro Evolution Soccer 3 PlayStation game. Those are the prizes. There's no night out with Chick this week.
I think Jim Duffy must have been a night out last night. He can't speak at all, he's lost his voice. Trying to get the message across to players. Want more movement from Nacho Novo. Wants him to come wide the left-hand side. I don't think the players are receiving the message. And talking of movement, Ian McCall's trying to get Charlie Miller to drift right a bit up front, as you pointed out, switch to that up front role. Wants him to be dragged right a little bit and try and get at the Dundee defence that way.
You sound like you might have picked up a karaoke injury yourself there. Are you okay?
No, I'll do a couple of numbers if you want.
Seem to have lost that pitchside reporter, thankfully. McLaren the target. Dave Mackay clears it to Nacho Novo. Bursting from midfield, Fotheringham. Calm defending from McCracken. McLaren allowed to turn. Pressure on Dodds from Barrett, and it pays off.
That's good play from the Dundee midfield players, putting Billy Dodds under a lot of pressure. They're forcing the error in the pass. Neil Barrett's settling down all right, starting the game well.
Also impressive, David McCracken in central defence for Dundee United so far. Very calm, commanding. Ian McCall didn't think he'd be too impressed with McCracken when he arrived at Tannadice. Now he wants him to sign a new contract. And he says, McCall, he can't imagine a United team at the moment without David McCracken in it. It's well kept in. Tenacity from Barrett. The ricochet set up Stephen Milne. He couldn't have been expecting that.
Ian McCall won't be too happy with Jim Patterson. But eventually the ball comes into Stephen Milne. Doesn't really expect this. That's why he's caught off guard and can't get enough contact in the ball.
Time flies in the Dundee derby, 17.5 minutes already.
I think it's fair to say defence is on top. Both teams working hard, both trying to get the opening.
It's good work from Joni Hernandez. Determined to win the ball there. And as he tried to play a 1-2 off Alan Freeland, he gets a free kick.
He should have passed it earlier, Rob. A great chance to play the ball wide left. That Fotheringham had made a great run.
Yeah, as you say, defence is on top, and when that situation applies, it's all about speed, isn't it? Speed of thought, speed of action, sometimes to unlock a defence.
You've got to make it happen quickly. Pass the ball quickly, pass it well, and a good movement.
Brady's free kick. Wilkie beaten by McCracken. Well off target. And we haven't said that too much about him this season. Nacho Novo. I said he'd played all 28 games for Dundee this season. And he's amassed 18 goals already. He scored in 16 of those 28 games, a total of 18. And I've been impressed with him recently because it's been a depleted Dundee side. And even with youngsters around him, and sometimes ploughing a lone furrow, he gives it his all. Free kick for Charlie Miller.
He does that so well, Charlie. Giving them the ball into feet, he'll protect it, he'll make life difficult for his opponent.
Andy McLaren wants it. And Jim Patterson tries to find him. It was Lee Mayer, though, who got his head to it for Dundee. Hernandez, beyond Novo. Kraken was there. Tries again, this time offside against Stephen Milne. And you'd have to say the Dundee United defence at the moment is performing very well as a unit.
They're pushing out well as a 4 at the back, but that one was very, very close. Milne tried to come back onside, just couldn't get there quite in time, but as the game goes on, I'm sure Novo and Milne, they'll judge it right, they'll get in behind them.
McCracken's free kick. Barry Robson's header. Onto it, Charlie Miller. Late challenge from Wilkie on Miller. Patterson's cross and played in too close to the goalkeeper. Julian Speroni is highly unlikely to make a mess of that. Gary Brady's run for Dundee, well, went all the way, and he'll be disappointed, to say the least, when he turns round to see the referee pointing for a goal kick.
He's so unlucky, Gary Brady. He doesn't argue, he knows this is a goal kick. He tries to play it across the box there. The ball just ricochets off him, goes out for a goal kick. Good refereeing, but a great run and very unfortunate.
Well, much of the emphasis at Dundee is off the pitch. The administrator, Tom Burton, on the left, and Peter Marr, the chief executive, or ex-chief executive, alongside him, with the club, of course, in administration and trying to deal with massive debts. Songs of praise for the Dundee manager. Patterson's clearance. Charlie Miller got there ahead of Lee Wilkie, who's hurt. Robson's pass to Dodds. And it's a Dundee defence at the moment, minus Wilkie. Mark Wilson didn't really get hold of the shot. But Speroni flings the ball out of play so that Wilkie can get some treatment. One thing recently about Dundee, despite all the changes they've had to make, has been a very settled back line. And the big fear for the Dundee fans at the moment will be that this is serious and that defence has got to be reshuffled.
It's accidental, the challenge. Charlie Miller getting in front of the big centre-back. I think just as Charlie flicked the ball on, his leg, his foot caught Lee Wilkie in his left knee. I think it'll be a knock rather than a twist or a turn, so I would imagine it'll be all right.
Well, Jim Duffy's calling Brent Sancho round, preparing to make a change. Chick can fill us in.
And he knows that it's a knee problem that the big man has. He's going to come off, there's no doubt about that. Sancho's going to come on. Jim Duffy immediately, he knew exactly the way he went down, the problem there. You see it exactly. Jim Duffy spotted that and immediately knew the player was in trouble. He's going to come off as Lee Wilkie, and he knows there'll be a replacement on. Jim Duffy very concerned about that immediately.
And Jim Duffy, of course, knows all about knee injuries himself. His playing career was hampered by serious knee trouble. You wonder how far Jim Duffy would have gone as a player had he not had injuries, but it's an injury to one of his players here which concerns him. And Brent Sancho is already getting himself ready to come on, and it's now you begin to think, how long might Lee Wilkie be out? How serious is this injury? We'll try and find out during the course of the game as to what this is and how serious it is, because Lee Wilkie has been a mainstay of the Dundee side. He's the very heart and soul of the team, and he has dragged them through some difficult days recently, and this is not a happy sight at all.
He doesn't look in too much pain as he comes off there, but I'm sure the physio can't take any chances with it. He's not sure there'll be a change, but Jim Duffy certainly won't want to lose his big centre-back. So dominant in the air, so strong for him.
Sandy, will that mean Barry Smith into the back four and Brent Sancho just in front, or maybe Sancho himself a straight swap?
I would think it would probably be Barry Smith into the back and Sancho play the holding midfield role. I've seen him play there before, but
wait a minute. Miracles do happen.
As I say, Rob, when I seen it, I think it was a kick on his knee rather than a twist. And if it's a kick, he should recover from it.
Yeah, but and I guess the problem is, if the fourth official has been informed that there's a substitution going to take place, can Dundee do a U-turn?
I'm sure they will.
I think Lee Wilkie's going to take some stopping, because he wants back on. It was almost biblical the way he got up off that stretcher. It is a Sunday, isn't it?
I think, initially, if you get that type of injury, you're in shock. You certainly are frightened. You fear the worst, to say the least. But once it settles down a little bit, and the physio's been very wise there, he's got him off the field of play, given him a minute or two to recover. It certainly looks okay now.
Just when we were sorting out Jim Duffy's defence for him too. Check what's Brent Sancho saying to this?
If you want to see a petted lip, Brent Sancho, he was totally stripped there. I was just checking with the fourth official, Rob, about exactly the rules and regulations. Eddie Mack, the fourth official, tells me until they step across the line. He had been handed a bit of paper by the Dundee bench about the change. He had the numbers ready on the electronic board, but until the players actually on the pitch, they can change their minds, and that's obviously what they did. But Brent Sancho's in a huff, and that can keep you out for 3 weeks.
Wilson to McInnes. Kerr. Neat touch. Andy McLaren. Wilson on the overlap. That was deflected on its way in. It's a corner.
It's a corner. I think Jim Duffy, what he's got to be careful is if Lee Wilkie is struggling a little bit with that knee, he shouldn't leave him at the back. The last time we seen that was at Aberdeen. Hibs against Aberdeen. Roland Edge was injured and they lost a goal because of it.
Just got a pat in the back there from Charlie Miller. Not a squeeze of the throat, a pat in the back. Dundee United's first corner. In from Barry Robson, and it was Wilkie who headed it away, but as he headed it clear, he stayed down, and I think now the substitution will have to happen. If Wilkie stays on, he's going to do himself serious harm here. Great bravery shown by Wilkie, who desperately wants to play here, he desperately wants to continue, but he surely can't.
You see it here, that's the header, clear from the corner. And there's no reason why he should be in that type of pain unless it's a bad injury. It's a simple header in normal circumstances. We can see the effort he had there to get that one away.
Chick, remember that wee bit of paper that was handed to the fourth official? Did somebody hold on to it?
They put the confetti together again, made the substitution, and Jim Duffy just shaking his head with disappointment. Brent Sancho's out his huff, he's on. We'll find out exactly what the stories with Big Lee in a minute or two. We'll bring that news.
And it looks as if Sancho is slotting into the back four, with Barry Smith continuing to police in front of those two. That's Hernandez. Kerr plays it through, Lee Mayer heads it clear. Hernandez this time. And out of Gary Brady. Dundee will miss Lee Wilkie's presence, no doubt about that, in defence and in attack. At set pieces, Dundee United will not be distraught at seeing the back of him. And a lot of responsibility on the other Lee now, Mayer. He's not holding back, charging forward. Mark Fotheringham. On through Barry Smith to Brent Sancho. Patterson's header. Milne. Good play from Stephen Milne. Trying to play his way to full match sharpness. Gary Brady's cross deflected. Barry Smith. The Hernandez cross. The Kraken was there. Fotheringham, and Nacharovo can't quite catch it. Let's hear from Chick Young, MD. What's the extent of that knee injury? Nacharovo was onside. Back to the quiet-spoken Chick.
Yeah, just having a word with Dr. Phyllis Windsor, the Dundee team doctor. She thinks it's ligament trouble. We just wonder how much that instant return from Big Lee might have aggravated the situation, but it looks like knee ligament trouble.
Novo. Barrett. Jorge Hernandez cross, slicing off the boot of David McCracken on its way behind. We have seen own goals in this sort of situation.
We have. This is a good ball from Hernandez in between the back line and the goalkeeper. He's faced his own goal almost. Just got to make sure he get good contact on it, and he did enough to take it over the crossbar.
So everyone bar Andy McLaren back for Dundee United. Gary Brady plays it in, and Brent Sancho's header is palmed away by Paul Gallagher. The substitute had an early chance to break the deadlock.
It should have been a goal. It's a free header. Can't believe the big centre-back is not picked up. He gets in there really well, comes a little bit late, and a good save from Paul Gallagher. Gets a full header on this one, attacks it well. Unfortunate for him, straight at the keeper.
And I have to say, the thought did strike me that the man with the dreadlocks could break the deadlock. But thankfully I didn't see it. A little bit of afters between Charlie Miller and Neil Barrett. Welcome to the Dundee Derby for the on-loan Portsmouth midfielder.
It's so unnecessary when we see so many players involved. To be fair, I think the teammates of both are trying to separate things rather than aggravate it. Interesting to see how Alan Freeland deals with this one.
Well, it has taken him long, the youngster, to find out what this meeting of the old rivals is all about. And the number 23 goes into Alan Freeland's book. And any thoughts that Charlie Miller might escape are being waved away, and the Dundee fans having a little bit of audience involvement as they tried to persuade Alan Freeland to issue a red card against Miller. Never much chance. It was a late one from Barrett, and then it was the old hands around the throat treatment from Charlie Miller.
Well, that's good refereeing. The tackle itself, I'll be persistent failing for Barrett. He's had one or two against him already, and Charlie Miller really didn't do an awful lot there. It was good refereeing.
It was an angry reaction from Miller. I wondered if he might have been booked for that response. He didn't raise his hands, but they were on the ground at the time, so I suppose he didn't have to raise his hands. So there was no booking for Miller there.
That's the challenge. And really, Charlie, well, he's got his arms round the boot, Barrett. There's absolutely no question. It's handbag stuff. I've said that a million times. We see it a million times.
Next weekend, we're at Firhill for Partick Thistle against Rangers. That's a live match from the Bank of Scotland Premier League from 2:25. It is next Sunday. And of course, every Sunday afternoon, you see all the other goals as well from all the other games. Every goal, every game, every week. No goals here as yet. Brent Sancho tried his best. Stephen Milne onside. Nacho Novo was pulling the trigger. What a good challenge that was from David McCracken.
It's an offside.
That's an offside, but what a good first half McCracken is having.
Yeah, he's certainly
Sunday.
playing well. He had to get back for that one there. As we mentioned before, the long ball over the top, it can cause problems. That time Dundee managed to stay onside, but McCracken recovered really well.
United trying to keep their defence in a line. That was missed by Robson, but it was also missed by Mackay. Nearly 34 minutes played, the second derby of the season in Dundee. And Ian McCall is well aware here that a win for United would cap a spell of good form. They've lost only once in their last 5 league games, and another win today would put Dundee United in the top 6, and that's what he was talking about at the start of the season in terms of his ambitions for the team. Mark Kerr composed in midfield. McCracken's pass goes astray. Mayer to Brady. Fotheringham. Lee Mayer again. It's a long chase for Nacho Novo, and Dundee's top scorer really hasn't got the sort of service he would have expected in the first half. He's having to do it all himself. His cross for Stephen Milne, just missed it. Paul Gallagher grabbed it, and that was all down to the industry and determination of Nacho Novo.
Great play from Nacho Novo. Stephen Milne just couldn't get his head to the ball as it came over. but didn't give up the lost cause. Not for the first time. Dundee have pressed hard on the United back players, and they've got a lot of joy from it.
Miller's flick, cut out by Sancho before McLaren could get there. Hernandez. That wasn't the layoff Stephen Milne wanted. McLaren to Dodds. Forward goes Jim Patterson. Well used to playing further forward in that left back position he occupies today. But that's a poor pass from Derek McInnes and easily cut out by Barry Smith. Now Nacho Novo is getting more and more involved here. Archibald lost his footing. Good recovery though. United stay calm. Attacking the ball was Lee Mayer. Good header won by Barry Robson. That's Brent Sancho. If you've just joined us, he replaced the injured Lee Wilkie, who has knee ligament damage. And the worry for Dundee is that Lee Wilkie will be missing for quite some time. And how Jim Duffy doesn't need that, having lost so many top players through administration, Mzadze and Caballero and Ray, among others. And now Wilkie's missing. Gary Brady wins the corner for Dundee.
Good play from Brady down that left-hand side. That's the second time he managed to have a decent run down that area. This time he gets a corner kick.
Brent Sancho's already tested out Gallagher. Brady's corner. McCracken won the header. Kerr plays it up to McLaren. Good challenge from Hernandez. McLaren is hurt. Just caught in the back of his ankle by the looks of it. But he's hobbling back onto the pitch. It was, though, an all-enveloping challenge from Hernandez. And Barry Smith wants to forget all about that pass. Mark Wilson, Tony Hernandez. It's all a bit hurried, isn't it? Sometimes the use of the ball here leaving a lot to be desired.
I think both sets of players are working really hard to close each other down, to stop them being allowed to play a combination of passes. That's why there's been very few clear-cut chances in the game so far. Set pieces have been the biggest threat. I'm sure as the game goes on, players will get just a little bit tired, and then mistakes are made and they're allowed more time on the ball.
I said that Dundee would miss Lee Wilkie, and how they will, of course, in defence and forward at set pieces. But then the nearest thing to a goal we've had so far is Brent Sancho's header, which was saved by Paul Gallagher. Billy Dodds busy in the midfield. He's been in busy goal-scoring form as well recently, with 5 in his last 6 league games. And of course, Dodds got the winner against one of his old teams, Aberdeen, last weekend. A late winner, 3-2 against Aberdeen at Tannadice. Hernandez with the cross, and how many times have I said it? McCracken with the header. Mark Kerr strongly into the challenge. Now Neil Barrett. The 1-2 between Novo and Milne. Again, United come out on top. The Dundee captain, Barry Smith. Nacho Novo. Neil Barrett has a shooting chance. And you wonder if he should have struck that quicker. He maybe took too long.
He doesn't get time for the ball to settle down, really. It's a good ball in from Nacho Novo. And Barrett, there's nowhere to put this. It's good defending again from McCracken. He stopped his line to goal. He should have passed it rather than shot.
Five minutes to go to half-time. It's tight and it's tense as ever in the Dundee derby. And the strikers have had little joy here so far. Barry Robson. Back to Jim Patterson. Alan Archibald, who gave such great service, of course, to Partick Thistle before leaving Firhill for Tannadice. Andy McLaren in his second spell with United. Derek McInnes. Mark Wilson and Mark Kerr. Charlie Miller trying to find some daylight in the Dundee defence, and much as is happening at the other end, no great joy for the United strikers against the Dundee defence.
There's so many defenders back for either team whenever they're under any pressure whatsoever. There's no space at all at the back end.
The interception was by Milne. Offside is given against Novo, but play goes on with United in possession. That's a wayward pass from David McCracken, no great pressure on him, and his manager won't be happy with him about that one little bit.
That's a sloppy one. Acknowledging the bad pass there, but you're right, the manager wouldn't forget it.
In went Charlie Miller to prod the ball away from Lee Mayer. Support from Andy McLaren, and that must be a penalty, surely, against Brent Sancho. He got that all wrong, and that was brilliant play from Charlie Miller, because he won it on the halfway line and then he tempted Sancho into the late challenge.
It's a stonewall penalty, no doubt about it. Charlie Miller does really well to win the ball further up the field, driving at Sancho, entices the tackle, and the big central defender dives in, takes the bait. No complaints at all. Stonewall penalty.
That was great stuff from Charlie Miller, bearing out his manager's view that he could do a job further forward. Billy Dodds scored a penalty winner last weekend against Aberdeen across the road. Can he do the same again? Well, you knew the answer, didn't you? It's Billy Dodds for Dundee United. And with less than 2 minutes to go to half-time, his 7th goal of the season has United ahead in the derby.
It's a perfect penalty. You can feel the confidence coming from Billy Dodds. He keeps his eye on the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper goes one way. He waits his time and just slips at the other side of him. You won't see a better penalty.
Billy Dodds' 6th goal in 7 league games. He's hot, but then stretching back over the years, he's really never been anything else. A fantastic goal-scoring record at every club he's played for, and he's 35 in a week and a bit, but he still knows the way to the back of that net. So penalty goals in consecutive matches for Dodds, and we've done the business across the road to get Tannadice on Saturday. No free kick for McLaren, despite his best efforts. Barry Robson did well to work that on, despite the late challenge. In from Patterson, away by Hernandez. Dundee won't want to concede again, and they have conceded a free kick 25 yards out. Conceded by Barry Smith, yeah.
Yeah, it's a handball, Rob. Barry Robson gets to the ball first. I'm sure Jim Duffy's saying to his team now, don't lose another one. Let's try and hold out to half-time, but this is the free kick. Robson does well. Barry Smith stopped the ball with his hand. Deliberate.
The word is 3 minutes to be added because of the attention given to Wilkie on the pitch. But more immediately, another threat to the Dundee goal. Mark Wilson is over this, Alan Archibald, Barry Robson. Barry Robson straight into the wall, and his second attempt is a little better. Miss-hit, well off target. And Dundee visibly deflated by that penalty, which has United in front. Ian McCall will be very content with a half-time scoreline of 0-1. He won't. So Duffy has lost Lee Wilkie in the first half. He's also lost the opening goal. And it's going to be tough for Dundee now. Although they've proved recently, and as recently as last weekend, they're made of tough stuff. They were 1-0 down to Partick Thistle. Sorry, Derek, with 5 minutes left. And they struck twice. But they'll need all their never-say-die spirit here. McCracken and Archibald both forward for the free kick. Robson's delivery, in went Archibald. And that was good work from Barrett. Stuck to the task and headed the ball to safety. Half-time at Dens Park, and Billy Dodds has done it again. 2 minutes away from the half-time whistle when Charlie Miller was brought down, and Billy Dodds did his usual highly professional job from the spot. What does Ray Farningham think about it? Here he is.
Ray, you don't want to be giving away penalty kicks on the threshold of half-time, do you?
That's the disappointing thing about the first half. Obviously, Brent, there's no need for him to go to ground here. I don't think there was a danger. One mistake's cost us, because I think we've dominated the game.
A real blow, of course, losing Big Lee.
It is, and we don't know the extent of the injury, but it is a blow losing Lee, and hopefully it isn't too serious.
Well, you've got to come out in this second half and get a goal. Nacho Novo does look good in the mood.
Well, I think the pace up front with Savo Mullen and Nacho's causing them problems, so obviously we've just stopped keeping them giving the final ball, that's all.
Thanks a lot, Ray.
So Ray Farningham very depressed about the penalty given away, but it was good work from Charlie Miller. First won it himself, and then he could see the challenge coming from Sancho, and as the defender got it all wrong, Charlie Miller looked up and saw Alan Freeland pointing at the penalty spot, just as he did last weekend. Billy Dodds with a highly professional penalty, which has these Dundee United fans well happy at half-time. Their team is one up in the derby.
Thanks to Robin Sandy. Yes, just the one goal. Not exactly a lot of flowing football so far, Derek. Typical derby in some ways, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not been a great match at all. Thankfully we got a goal at the end there, and hopefully the second half will be a bit more exciting than the first.
Yeah. Ray Farningham there reckoning that Dundee were the better side, Stuart. I'm not sure that you would agree with that, with the look in your face.
I don't think any of us would agree with that. I don't think that either team could claim to have played particularly well. I would say Dundee United have probably had more possession. Maybe Dundee have looked a bit more of a threat going forward. They're more of a counter-attacking team, and the type of team I think are better away from home. But it's a big pitch, and you would expect the teams to be hanging on to the ball a bit better than they have been.
Absolutely. 1-0 though, and we'll go back over the highlights of the first 45 minutes a little bit later on. Let's turn our attention back to the Dundee derby then. United leading 1-0 at Dens, and as much attention on events off the park at Dens these days, naturally, as there is on events on it. Peter Maher, the former chief executive before administration, has been outlining the latest situation to Chick.
Peter, let's start with suggestions that are speculation indeed that there may be a Lithuanian businessman prepared to invest in Dundee. True or false?
False, as far as I'm concerned. I know that Tom Button spoke to somebody, and there was a Russian and a Lithuanian, and I think it was pretty difficult because he couldn't speak Scottish. But I kind of see it. I think they've been around the clubs, and nothing's happened. They've been at Dunfermline, been at Livingston, they've been at Dundee United, and I'm quite sure nothing will happen.
So what is exactly the situation? I mean, we've heard the threat from the SPL this week over the 10-point deduction. Are you likely to be on the en route to come out of administration by the 31st of May?
Well, I just had a meeting with Tom Button there because I'm just back. Chick, and
he's quite confident we'll be on the way by then. So he's confident, I'm confident, and I've always been confident we'll come at the other end. And whether it's with us or somebody else in charge of the club, I'm sure that Dundee will go on.
What does Giovanni Di Stefano stand in all this, Peter?
I haven't seen him, I haven't spoke to him. Spoke to him about 2 weeks ago and asked him to resign. He's now intimated he's going to resign. He hasn't officially actually done the thing yet, but he said he's going to resign. He doesn't come in at all, Chuck. He hasn't done anything and he's not here anymore.
These are obviously dark days for Dundee, but you seem to be optimistic that you can get through this.
Yeah, well, it's always been difficult at Dundee. We always seem to be getting kicked, so we're used to it. So we just got to go on with it. But we're not the only ones that's in this difficult situation. Everybody's fighting hard against us. We made a lot of bad mistakes, but we're not the only people. David Murray's admitted he made bad mistakes as well. So we've just got to go on with it and try and rectify them. We've got the experience now to rectify them, but might be somebody else might want to come and do it. If they're going to come and help Dundee, we'd be quite happy.
Thanks, Peter.
Yes, Peter Maher offering some hope for Dundee fans about coming out of administration in time to avoid losing 10 points at the start of next season. What about events on the pitch? They're 1-0 down. 1 or 2 chances in the first half, nothing terribly clear-cut, but here were the closest thing to a goal up until that penalty. This is early on, Derek.
Yeah, Big Lee just managed to, can't get quite over the top of it. Sees it maybe a bit late there. There was a half chance, we say. There wasn't many chances in the first half. I think overall, Dougie, the first half, everything broke down in the final third. The quality in the final third was poor in the first half.
This was a chance for Steve Milne after a bit of pinball around in the area.
Bizarre to say the least there, isn't it? It's a poor clearance, first and foremost there. And again, he sees it late and he tries to react to it.
Now Brent Sancho, of course, came on as substitute for the unfortunate Lee Wilkie Stewart and did well here, should perhaps have scored.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was sloppy defending by the centre-back. You can't be leaving a ball to drop that low and leave a guy to have a header unchallenged in the 6-yard box. He's got away with it. He's a bit lucky, really. But I think we've noticed most of ironically enough, most of Dundee's good players come down the right flank, but this was an occasion where the Dundee United defender tried to jockey it out. And I think it was very, very close to getting a touch there, Mill. A great ball in by Novo. He's looked a real danger for them. And I think we've highlighted the right players anyway before the game.
Yeah, we did. We've absolutely picked out the two. The penalty was really a piece of absolute madness by Brent Sancho. There's no need for him to charge in with this tackle, Derek, is there?
Not at all. I mean, Charlie just slows down there, just invites him in, changes his pace there. As a defender there, there's still no danger, I don't think, because there's a defender behind him. And that's just, madness is right, because he's just cost his team a goal there.
Yeah, and that was an easy decision for the referee. We've had a few controversial ones over penalties in the last couple of weeks, but that was an easy one for Alan Freeland to make, and Dodgy tucks it away in his usual efficient fashion, Stuart.
Yeah, well, I think once the penalty was given, it was a shoo-in that Dodgy was going to score, but just watching it on the slow-mo there, I mean, he's so far away from getting the ball, it's embarrassing. He's got good cover. I don't know whether they were talking to one another there, but on 44 minutes, that is absolutely suicidal.
It was a crazy tackle. Lee Wilkie, though, it appeared to us immediately had gone down with a serious injury. That, right from that moment, you know, that's not just a knock. I mean, you've had experience of seeing players with bad knee injuries, Derek.
Yeah, initially, this is my worry here. He's holding his knee, there's no any contact, and right away I'm thinking ligament damage. Now, whether, I think it was a poor decision by the physio to let him go back on the pitch there. He obviously thought he was okay, but again, you can see, hopefully he's not done more damage, Dougie.
No, well, that's the thing. This is just minutes later. You can see him clutching his knee even before he hits the ground, don't you?
Well, I was involved earlier on in my career with Chris Morris, done a similar thing when he was at Middlesbrough, and they put him back on, he actually ended up snapping his cruciate. I hope it's not as bad for Big Lee, that one.
I know you were amazed to see Big Lee going back on. Sometimes the player has to be protected from himself in these situations, Stuart, doesn't he?
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily blame the player. I've ruptured my cruciate before, and my physio was good enough to spot the problem, because when you snap the nerves in your knee, you have no feeling in it whatsoever, so he probably didn't feel any pain in there. He thought it'd be all right, just jog it off, and then suddenly an innocuous header where he's not even in contact with the ground. I mean, that looks as if he's got a serious problem.
Yeah, well, you hate to take a kind of negative viewpoint, but all the evidence would seem to suggest it is a nasty one, and Big Lee could be out for some time, Derek, doesn't it?
Yeah, we wish him well. Hopefully he's back, a speedy recovery for him, because he's a crucial player for Dundee in their hard times at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. What about the second half then? United a goal in front. Would you fancy them to go on and take control, Stuart?
Well, based on what we've seen, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. We were hoping for a lot of chances. Bit surprised because Both teams are decent passers of the ball, and Dundee in particular seem to be quite direct. They're trying to use Novo's pace down the sides, and I'd like to see them get a bit more support from the midfielders, because they seem to be, the strikers seem to be very isolated.
Well, the last Dundee derby was very much the old cliché, the game of two halves, and Dundee fans will be hoping that this one follows the same pattern. They're 1-0 down. Let's go back for live coverage with Robin Sandy.
Happy faces among the Dundee United support who've seen their team get in front just before the half-time interval, and they now hope that United will move on from that position and make victory secure, and in the unaccustomed position this time of going in as favourites, because in recent years they've had to play pretty much second fiddle, but courtesy of a massive blunder by Brent Sancho, United have got themselves in front here. He got it all wrong, didn't he? He wasn't even close in his challenge on Charlie Miller. Let's hear from Gordon Chisholm.
Gordon, you'll obviously be happy with that first half performance.
Well, we're happy to be one up, Chick, but to be honest with you, we're disappointed the way we've played. We feel we're capable of playing better than that, you know. We feel we could maybe move the ball side to side a wee bit quicker and be a wee bit crisper with our passing. But yeah, you're right, we're delighted, we're one up.
You've made no changes at half-time, we expect to see something shortly?
We'll see how it develops, Chick, we'll just see how it goes.
OK, I'll let that you on, but thanks, Gordon.
OK, Chick.
The goal scoring of Billy Dodds is a joy to watch. He has a big influence as well on the players around him. Dodds' 7th goal of the season. It's Dundee 0, Dundee United 1 going into the second half at Dens. What are Dundee made of? We'll find out in the next 45 minutes. Minus Lee Wilkie.
I think Rob will get somebody like Novo playing so well, scored so many vital goals. Jim Duffy will feel his team can certainly get back in this match.
Steve Lovell is on the bench for Dundee. Wouldn't be at all surprised if we see him appearing during the second half. He is a real goal threat, very physical player. Sancho's clearance comes off Derek McInnes and out. Brent Sancho could have been a Dundee hero within minutes of coming on with that header, which was saved by Gallagher. Might well have done better, and certainly could have done better with his challenge on Miller, which conceded the penalty. Nacho Novo's pace got him in behind Alan Archibald and wins Dundee a free kick.
Great determination from the Dundee striker. Nacho Novo must give. Archibald must have 5-6 yards up a start on him. It's a long ball over the top again. But he's shown great pace. We know he's got that pace to get in front and win the free kick.
Well, Gallagher hasn't had an awful lot to do so far. Prepared for action here. Mark Fotheringham and Gary Brady are over the ball. Fotheringham strike off Derek McInnes, deflected into the 6-yard box. Dundee have equalised. Nacho Novo got the final touch, and it was Brent Sancho who created the chance for him, having conceded the penalty. And what a quick response that is! Inside 2 minutes of the second half, Dundee hit back, and it's Nacho Novo's 19th goal of the season.
Novo deserves this. He wins the free kick. It's a deflection over the tilt. But Sancho does really well there to knock the ball back across goal. He's really not too sure where he is, but he knows to put the ball in the right area. And Novo, you can't miss from there, but you've got to be there. You've got to anticipate it, and he's there to stick the ball in the back of the net.
Absolutely incredible. Goal-scoring instincts of Novo, and that's him one away from 20 for the season. Quite phenomenal. But Ian McCall's not happy, Chick.
When that free kick was awarded, Rob, he was screaming at the wall. He thought there were far too many players in the United wall, and consequently, of course, they were short defending in the 6-yard box. He was screaming for a couple of guys to come off the wall, and they paid the penalty. They didn't listen to the manager, or they couldn't hear him or whatever, but they didn't do it, and they lost the goal.
Brent Sancho, a bit of a dull moment for him. Almost scored after coming on, then gave away the the penalty. Ended brilliantly there to create the Dundee equaliser. It was athletic, it was gymnastic as he hooked the ball into the goal area, and it was a simple task for Novo to force it in. And it's Sancho again. It's the Brent Sancho show.
That's a good tackle.
Patterson's throw, back from Dodds. Now with McInnes, Charlie Miller. Much better defending from Sancho against Miller that time. Well, I asked the question right at the start of the second half, what are Dundee made of? I think we've just had the answer.
Well, we've seen it last week as well, didn't we, at Firhill. Great determination. Good togetherness about the Dundee squad.
Archibald covering across, and Novo reflecting on number 19 of the season, and you can see here what Ian McCall is talking about. Too many in the wall, and maybe Dundee United a little bit bare here in the 6-yard box. In from Sancho and rattled into the net by Novo.
Strange, I was watching Novo when the free kick was being taken. It was wide on the left-hand side and then just started to drift in towards the goal area as the ball was played to the back post. That's probably the reason why it wasn't picked up.
Game on, and a foul on Speroni by Miller. It was very calm defending from the goalkeeper. The sort of calm defending which gives managers cardiac arrest.
Speroni does really well to get around Challinor, but Challin's going to receive a yellow card here. I don't think he should be getting a yellow card for this. He tries to get his foot in the ball, he tries to win the ball, the goalkeeper's too sharp for him. You know, you wonder just how much the crowd, the stick that the Dundee fans have been giving Challinor, how much that has had an influence on the referee to produce that yellow card.
Are you suggesting the Dundee fans don't like Charlie Miller? It may be, of course, that is for a series of offences. He was involved in the first half dust-up with Neil Barrett, in which he wasn't yellow carded. I think he could have pulled out of that, Sandy, could he not?
No, I don't think so. I think he tries to get the ball and his foot's in the ground, Rob. I'm sure Speroni will be fine. There won't be any long-term injury to him. You know, you may think I'm sticking up a lot for Charlie Miller, but I honestly think he's not a tackler. It's not his strength in the game. He's a good footballer. We've seen that when they won the penalty kick. He wasn't being nasty there. He was trying to steal the ball.
It's only yellow. It's only yellow. Unless he gets another yellow, of course. Good work, though, from Speroni. The word is that the booking wasn't for that offence, it was for persistent fouling.
Well, I'm sure you'll keep me right, Rob. I can't remember a free kick that Charlie had against him previously. That dust up with Barrett, that was certainly an incident, but it was innocent then as well, in my opinion.
Thanks for adding that. McInnes, Dodds, Wilson. Andy McLaren plays the 1-2, Mark Wilson on the move, and it was a good recovery from Jorge Hernandez at the expense of a corner.
Good play from Mark Wilson going forward. Great recovery from that man there, Hernandez.
Once Robson gets that camera case out of the way. Well, at least he gets a second chance. This time he won't have to move the camera case. David McCracken right on the goal line for United. Billy Dodds and Charlie Miller all in there. And then Robson's delivery is grabbed by Speroni.
That was an easy one for the goalkeeper. Ian McCall's problem will be no challenge on him whatsoever, no pressure on the keeper for the cross.
Mark Kerr's cross, flicked on by Dodds. And Sancho lets it go. Chick, what's the latest on Lee Wilkie?
Well, the news might be better. I had another chat with Phyllis Windsor, the team doctor at Dundee, and she says she's waiting the swelling goes down, but she believes it might not be as bad as first anticipated. She's possibly just 2 or 3 weeks out, and I think a lot of us were suggesting, those of us who know much less about the medical profession, of course, were suggesting it could be worse. But he's still in the dressing room having treatment, or the treatment room rather, at the moment, Rob.
Let's hope that's right. It's nothing too serious. Most people in football would wish Lee Wilkie well, and Dundee certainly need him back. Patterson's header. Robson. Sancho against Miller. Came off Brent Sancho. United's throw. Lee Wilkie will clearly be a doubt for Scotland's forthcoming match against Wales in Cardiff, one would imagine, unless he makes a really miraculous recovery. I wonder if bouncing back off that stretcher quite as quickly as he did was a mistake. Fotheringham, Barrett. Wanted too long on the ball, Neil Barrett. And relieved of possession by Derek McInnes. First game for Dundee, the derby. Lee Mayer, I should say, slowly getting back to his feet and feeling his face.
That was a challenge with Andy McLaren just a few minutes ago.
Miller to Kerr. Mayer's clearance. Novo's challenge against Patterson penalised. Barry Robson shaping for the cross. Dave Mackay clears. Sancho chested down by Fotheringham for Novo. Safety first from McCracken.
He had no choice there, McCracken. Novo and Millen were closing them down. If he'd turned to face them, he could well have lost the ball.
Stephen Milne played it off Jim Patterson. It's Dundee's throw again. Mackay to Barrett. Away by David McCracken. Back in from Barry Smith. That's Sancho. Smith to Milne. Patterson clears. No, it's not pretty.
It's not really, no. The second half, there's been no passing at all.
The goals here sandwiched either side of half-time. A couple of minutes before the interval, Billy Dodds with the penalty. A couple of minutes after half-time, Nacho Novo for 1-1.
That was another free kick there on Charlie Miller. He's been the one player on the field today who's managed to put his foot in the ball, hold on to it and try and play a pass. Show a bit of composure.
Archibald, long ball too long. And it comes booming back from Speroni. Flicked on by Dodds from Miller, good control. Great ability from Charlie Miller, good use of the ball. Mark Wilson, cutting inside Gary Brady. It was intended for Mark Kerr, the idea was good, although it didn't quite come off.
I thought that was a good ball from Wilson. I don't think Matt Kerr read it. He was wanting the ball into the feet, not wanting to go in behind.
Here's Dave Mackay. Nacho Novo, given no time by Archibald. Miller's pass, and Robson won't catch it. But there are a lot of intelligent promptings from Charlie Miller. He has had a big influence on the game. No one's ever doubted his ability. He just doesn't produce it often enough. Robson's header. There's Barrett. Miller again keeping the ball well. Lear. And Mackay alongside him. Eddie Thompson, the Dundee United chairman. Looks as if he's about to give us a quick rattle of the keyboard there, but and seeing Eddie Thompson there reminds me that there's talk in the air at the moment of possible Lithuanian takeover at Tannadice. They've been talking to both Dundee clubs, it seems, with a view to investing. Other Scottish clubs involved with those in talks with the Lithuanians as well, as Peter Marr told us at half-time. Smith to Hernandez. Novo wins the corner.
Good movement again there from Nacho Novo. He's been the biggest threat to the United defence all day.
It's all about getting the service to him, isn't it?
Great. As soon as you get a ball on that over the top, he's on to like a flash, creating lots of problems. Showed that to win the free kick to get the equaliser.
In from Brady. Lee Mayer is there. Good defensive play though from McCracken. Dodds rolls it down the line. Kept in by Wilson. Off Hernandez. And it's a United corner at the other end.
That's a good counter-attack from United. And McClaren picking up the loose ball, playing into Billy Dodds and Matt Wilson. Ever willing down that right-hand side.
David McCracken and Alan Archibald arriving in the Dundee penalty box. Barry Robson's delivery. The flick at the near post. Played Dundee into Pollard. Charlie Miller's shot blocked. And now the Dundee counter. Brady to Novo. Support slowly arriving in the area for the home team. Brady's cross. Important header, wasn't it, from Derek McInnes. Sancho against Miller.
That was good defending again from both teams. United's corner kick at one end, Charlie Miller a lot of half chance. And then United having to defend the counter-attack.
Foul by Jim Patterson on Stephen Milne. And Dundee thinking about the second change. They had no choice about the first one. Chick.
Yeah, Steve Lovell's going to come on. We just haven't confirmed with the fourth official who he's going to replace, so we'll have that new information a second. To this level there, you see getting instructions from Jim Duffy. He'll be on in a moment or two.
Lee Mayer is forward for this free kick. Fotheringham with it. Foul given against Hernandez for the hold he had on McLaren. Well, he's giving it everything. Charlie Miller, that time he was squeezed out a bit by Sancho.
Good defending from Sancho. But Charlie Miller again determined. He was onto the free kick early. Quick one.
It's going to be Neil Barrett who's coming off for Dundee to be replaced by Steve Lovell. So Jim Duffy will go with a front three of Mill, Novo and Lovell as he looks to turn 1-1 into 2-1. Sancho strong enough against McLaren. And Andy McLaren was late on Dave Mackay, and you could see that one coming from a mile off.
You're right, I'm just watching Hernandez there. He's silly getting involved in this one as well. And the McLaren's silly. There's a challenge with Sancho just before it. McLaren chasing the ball. Mackay always going to be first to the ball to clear it. McLaren following through. You see here, no chance of getting the ball. That's a dangerous challenge. Deserves a yellow.
Hernandez wanted to play his part as well, and now they're feeling, saying, I've got the green jersey on, I'm the ref.
Hernandez ran the full width of the pitch there to get involved in that argument. His team already had the free kick.
The end of his first Dundee derby then for Neil Barrett. Steve Lovell is the replacement. He was a big player for Dundee last season. This campaign has been injury interrupted for him, but Jim Duffy knows all about Steve Lovell's abilities and what he can do. And he gives them something a bit more physical up front as well.
The one thing about Lovell, he put himself about, a challenge for every ball. Every 50-50 he'll be there.
Novo looking for Smith. Cleared by Archibald. That's Sancho. Good work from Danny Brady, diverting the header towards Hernandez. But that was played straight at Alan Archibald. It's not going to hurt Dundee United. Kerr's pass, Charlie Miller, and this time Sancho gets it right.
Great mover from Charlie Miller. Just hasn't got the pace, he's too far away from goal to go and hurt the Dundee backline. Sancho does well to cover round.
Dodds beaten by Hernandez. Brady to Novo. McLaren. Robson going inside, then out. Good ball in off the head of Meir. Dodds has it. And confident handling from Speroni.
Good catch from the goalkeeper. The first ball is a great ball from Robson. Goalkeeper can't come for that one. Charlie Miller can't quite get there. But the second one, and it's an easy one for him. Too close to him.
Just about at the midway point in the second half. 1-1 in the second Dundee derby of the season. Fotheringham's reverse pass doesn't quite work out. McLaren on the end of the United clearance, linking up with Miller. Now Kerr. Dodds is available. Kerr through, and took a deflection, and Charlie Miller was offside. The game rages on. Stephen Milne, powerful run right to the edge of the area. In went Lovell, and he got a better touch. There was a chance on for him.
It's a chance for Steve Milne. I can't believe he doesn't take on the big central defender McCracken inside the box, similar to Charlie Miller in the first half to win the penalty. Didn't take the responsibility there, Milne.
And what he did, Sandy, was take the pressure right off McCracken.
He did.
Dundee United are going to respond. Check with a change of their own.
Yeah, Colin Samuel's the player who will be introduced. Billy Dodds will make way for him, Rob.
So the United goal scorer coming off. Colin Samuel, who's scored only once all season, coming on. Dave Mackay, poor clearance. McInnes to Miller. For once his touch lets him down, Charlie Miller. And it's a one-back by Mark Kerr. Now Sancho. Fotheringham. What is he doing? And he gets away with it. Hernandez, lovely ball for Nacho Novo. Gallagher quickly off his line as Novo got in behind McCracken.
He's unlucky, Nacho Novo. It's a great run to stay onside again. That ball over the top. He has to go across to the left-hand side so that he can just edge out McCracken. We couldn't get there quick enough to get on in the loose ball.
That was a superb curling pass from Hernandez right in behind McCracken, utilising the pace of Novo.
It's right from the training ground. It's the way Dundee play.
Good play from Stephen Mill. Here's Steve Lovell with a chance. Still on! Steve Lovell for Dundee. Looked as if he'd lost the moment. Recovered himself and blasted it past Paul Gallagher. And from 1-0 down, Dundee United now trail by 2-1. It's Steve Lovell, only his second goal of the season.
It's a magnificent goal. Like you, I thought the chance was gone. It's a great ball and it does really well to stay onside. I thought here it's gone and had to lay it back the way. But great little turn, great composure. That's the pass through to him. Stays onside really well. It's a good first touch. But I thought he was going to hit it here. I thought the chance was lost. But he knew exactly what he was doing. That's a composed finish.
What Dundee United won't be happy about here is that he was able to recover and fashion himself another chance. A lot of credit to Steve Lovell, though, for the way he got himself turned around. And, well, the shot was unstoppable in the end. 20 minutes left. Dundee 2-1 ahead. It's been an injury-interrupted season for Steve Lovell, as Colin Samuel replaces Billy Dodds for United. And while that substitute was being thought about and executed, Dundee were getting their noses in front. McInnes, played away by Lemire. Now Fotheringham. Mistake by Barry Smith. McInnes to Robson. Dundee United recovered from 2-1 down last weekend. Andy McLaren had better beware. He's been yellow carded already.
It's a silly boy. Unnecessary pressure he's putting himself. You see it here. You know how often we've seen that as a yellow card. It's a deliberate push. 2 hands right in his back. Lucky man.
Just about the last chance for man of the match. Who do you reckon Sandy will pick in the closing moments? Novo to Brady. Good play from Gary Brady. Just too much on the cross for Stephen Mill.
Dundee have been given a massive boost by that second goal, playing with much more confidence now. That man there, Telemal, he's also dropped off the front. Samuel right up beside McLaren. Miller in the possession just off the front.
Hernandez gives it away, so does Barry Robson. Gary Brady. It's a great run for Brady. He just couldn't quite get the studs to grip.
He lost his foot. It's very similar to Lovell. Only Lovell managed to keep his feet in the ground and score the second goal.
Kerr's pass too predictable. Cut out by Hernandez. Barry Smith launches it downfield. But Dundee don't want to sit in at this stage. That will only invite Dundee United to come on to them. But Fotheringham's pass is a good one for Nacho Novo. Steve Lovell's waiting. Stephen Milne couldn't quite get there for the cutback.
That was good play from Novo. I think it was a tired one from Stephen Milne. He'll be feeling the pace of the game a little bit now, being out so long with injury. But he's certainly had a massive contribution as well today, Nacho Novo.
Last weekend was Dundee's first league win in 3 months. Can they make it 2 back-to-back?
Remember as well, Rob, United were down 2-1 to Aberdeen, come back to win 3-2 late in the game, so I wonder if there's a sting in the tail.
I did mention that a minute ago, you're not listening.
Did you? Sorry.
And Jim Duffy's team can go above United if they beat them here. 2 points behind pre-kick-off. And United are going to make another change.
Craig Easton's the man coming on. I haven't got the information who's getting hooked, but I'll bring you that live and exclusive.
.75 minutes on the clock then. Dundee 2, Dundee United 1. Novo and Lovell for the home team, after Billy Dodds had scored from the spot at the tail end of the first half. Is there another twist in this tale? You wouldn't be surprised. Fotheringham's cross-field pass, he's played well. To Hernandez. Launched over the top for Steve Lovell, but the flag goes up.
Interesting there when that ball was played forward. Dundee still playing with the 3 up front. United only 3 back. So certainly man for man at the back for United at the moment.
It's going to be Mark Kerr who's going to come off for United to be replaced by Craig Easton. That's pretty much a straight swap in midfield. Charlie Miller dangerously close to the Dundee support, getting some stick. And Dundee will make their final switch as well shortly. Lovell clears and finds Novo. Such a good counter-attacking team, Dundee. Bags of pace. Well, we saw Stephen Milne a few moments ago struggling to get to the Nacho Novo cutback. He's, I think, knackered is the football phrase. And Stephen Robb will be the man to replace him shortly.
That'll be a wise move from Jim Duffy. Milne's worked truly hard today, but he will be really tired now.
Robson tries to get beyond Mackay. Cross took a deflection. It wasn't out though, as United looked for a corner.
It takes a deflection on the way past here. Robson again trying to get to the dead ball line. Gets there. It's a little deflection off Mackay, but Speroni doing well.
Here's Barry Robson again. Poor ball in. 3, maybe 4 in the box, and that was straight at Speroni.
Too close to the keeper.
Terrific work from Nacho Novo. I really do like his attitude, even apart from the goals.
There's so much more to his game now, Rob. We've seen him linked in the middle of the field a few minutes ago. We think of him all the time of over the top.
United make their change. Kerr off. And Craig Easton, he's the longest serving player at Tannadice Easton, but 6 starts this season tells you that he's fallen out of favour. Stephen Mill manages a little run to the touchline to go off, but he's feeling the effects of his first start of the season. He's done a good job. And Stephen Robb, a goal scorer in the Cup, his first top team goal for Dundee during the week, is the replacement. Sancho, Kraken. McLaren to Miller. Charlie Miller well capable of carving out an equaliser for United. Harry Robson tripped. Free kick against Dave Mackay. In the 80th minute, Robson's cross.
Again, it's not a good one from Robson. Gets into very good areas. The delivery's got to be better.
Archibald! What an effort from Alan Archibald. What a save from Julian Speroni. He got a touch on this.
It's a tremendous shot from Alan Archibald. Not a lot of option but to hit it. I think that's going in if Speroni doesn't get a finger to it.
If Dundee win this, there'll be a big slap on the back for Julian Speroni. In from Brady Robson, punched away by the goalkeeper.
It's a better cross from Robson. Lots of pace in the ball that time.
Well defended by Hernandez and Fotheringham. Now Brady to Novo. Steve Lovell. He's pacey, he's powerful. Cuts back inside. And overdid it. Nacho Novo was screaming for a pass. Dundee can try again with Brady. Good run from Gary Brady. It's a corner.
That's good play from Brady. And Lovell just before that. Great power, strength from Lovell. And remember, there's no way he can be match fit. But he's made a real contribution.
Stephen Robb's corner, heading for Lovell before it was played away by Easton. Sancho did well. Fotheringham, Mackay. Kept in by Novo. Mark Fotheringham. Headed away by McCracken. Miller to Robson. Dancing away from the challenges of Hernandez and Brady. Cleared by Lee Mayer. Dundee expecting United to apply some pressure in these closing stages, and I don't think they'll be disappointed.
Dundee have gone back to a 4-4-2. Stephen Robb, the last substitution, he's playing wide on the left-hand side, almost as a midfield player now.
That's possession lost by Colin Samuel. And bursting through the challenges was Mark Fotheringham. Nacho Novo with Lovell and Robb waiting. Taken by Paul Gallagher. Mark Fotheringham has a problem. He's gone down with nobody nearby. I think Sandy saw it.
Yeah, it was a challenge from Barry Robson. It was a late challenge. Fotheringham skipped past 2 or 3 United players and Robson caught him late. The referee played advantage. Barry Robson was a tired challenge from the United left winger. You see it here. Fotheringham does really well. Forces his way through the middle here. You see Robson coming into it. There's the challenge there. The referee plays advantage.
That's just a kick, isn't it?
He's a lucky man, Robson. good refereeing to play advantage, but Jim Duffy won't be seen it that way. He's got a player off the field at the moment.
And of course Jim Duffy has made all 3 substitutions that he can make, so he'll hope that Fotheringham can get back on and run off the problem and play his part in the closing 6.5 minutes plus stoppage time. Released by Celtic, Mark Fotheringham, and trying to carve out a career for himself with his hometown team. Thistle Rangers is live on the BBC next Sunday at Firhill from 2:25.
An offside there against Nacho Noble. Assistant the far side getting that one right. Lovell one in the header, but Noble certainly in an offside position.
84 minutes. Dundee 2-1 up in the derby. Gallagher with the free kick. Andy McLaren screaming for a penalty against Brent Sancho as the ball bounced awkwardly in front of him, or he certainly dealt with it awkwardly, and we'll see that in a moment. The word is it wasn't handball. Andy McLaren certainly was convinced. I suppose he would be. That's a free kick. Let's see that again.
Sancho involved again. He certainly had a contribution to the game. He goes over the top of the players in the middle of the park. Yeah, I don't think it's his hand, I think it's his chest. His arm's in the road, but there's no contact made. It would have been very harsh if that had been a penalty kick.
Nachanovo being urged to retreat the appropriate distance at this free kick, alongside Gary Brady there. United trying to make something of the set piece, but it was Sancho with the header. Back it comes from Wilson. Fotheringham cleared it, only as far as Barry Robson. Kept it in. Derek McInnes, poor pass, a tired pass from McInnes. Intercepted by Hernandez. Now Lovell.
Good play
off Wilson.
Good play again there from Steve Lovell. I'll tell you, Brent Sancho, he came on as a substitute today, gave away the penalty kick, but since then he's played incredibly well at the back for Dundee.
Flicked on by Lovell, Stephen Robb's after it, McCracken clears. Easton to McInnes. Colin Samuel. Gets the ball off Lee Mayer. Headed away by Barry Smith, only as far as Derek McInnes, and dear, oh dear, oh dear. He knows it. He had to keep this down.
It's a chance. Samuel does well to win this ball. It's not the best of clearances from Barry Smith. McInnes should take a touch. He's experienced enough, he's wise enough. Didn't do it, and eventually made a mess of it.
Three and a half minutes left of the 90. Dundee hoping they're heading for 3 points courtesy of Steve Lovell's goal. Launched forward by Smith. McCracken under pressure from Lovell, and it breaks for Stephen Robb. Trying to nip in behind McCracken. Robb does well. Tried to set up Lovell. Important interception from Alan Archibald. It keeps United's hopes alive of rescuing something from this. Charlie Miller. Craig Easton. Lee Mayer powering the header away. Nachanovo changes the direction of the ball, it's out. Mark Wilson's in a hurry. McCracken towards McLaren, off the head of Sancho. United have a corner.
Not a lot of choice here for Sancho. Had to go for the ball. It's skimmed off the top of his head.
United have to throw everything at this. It includes the central defenders Alan Archibald and David McCracken. 7 tangerine shirts inside the penalty box. Mark Wilson to deliver. Headed away by Mackay. First there is Brady. Robson back to Wilson. Kicked himself onside. Steve Lovell's defensive header. Barry Robson tries to find a way through. Dave Mackay heads it away. Nacho Novo. Now Stephen Robb. 2 minutes to be added, so just over 3 left. Gary Brady, shooting chance. Didn't get over it. Man of the match, Sunday.
Well, there's been 2 contenders, Rob. Charlie Miller today, I think he's been exceptional. Doesn't deserve to be in the losing team. But that man there, Nacho Novo, what a contribution he's had to Dundee today. Scored the goal. Normally look for him to play over the top. But he's done so well. He's my Bank of Scotland man of the match.
Robson to Wilson. Stephen Robb trying to get to Wilson. He's still got in the cross. But that's good goalkeeping from Speroni. Came a long way to take that.
Very confident, the goalkeeper. Wilson does well to get 2 or 3 yards of space to play the cross in, but the goalkeeper is so sharp off his line. Made the right decision again.
Fotheringham. Lovell. Good challenge from Easton. Samuel. Powerful burst. Well positioned was Barry Smith to intercept.
Good play from Samuel there, but a terrible pass eventually into the box.
The clock is now against Ian McCall's team. 30 seconds nearly into stoppage time. 90 seconds left. 90 seconds between Dundee and a Derby win. United will give it everything. McLaren. Easton. Hernandez was quickly across. Well, we're just about into last chance territory now for Dundee United. Charlie Miller winding up for the long throw. Came off the head of Mayer. What a chance for Barry Robson. And he couldn't keep it down.
Got to hit the target. It's dangerous from the long throw. It's a little flick on Robson. He's at the back post on his own. He's got time to keep his eye on the ball. Eventually he's closed down, but you've got to hit the target.
Well, it would have been spectacular had it hit the net from Robson. But as it was, it didn't even require a save. The Dundee fans want that final whistle, and they want it badly, and they want it soon. Alan Phelan looking at his watch. It's almost all over. It is now. Dundee have won the derby. Steve Lovell's second half winner, decisive after Billy Dodds had scored first for United from the penalty spot. Nacho Novo equalised on the other side of the half-time interval, and substitute Steve Lovell did the business for Dundee. Let's hear from the match-winning manager.
Jim, fantastic second-half fight back.
Well, I thought it was tremendous, a full game. To be honest, we checked, we had 2 minutes of silliness just before half-time. Other than that, I thought we dominated the match. I'm delighted with the result and the performance.
And particularly after losing Lee Wilkie, of course.
Yeah, of course, Lee Wilkie. But every single player there gave 100%. I thought we played some excellent football. And it was great to see Stephen Lovell back giving us that victory.
This club might be in some kind of financial despair, but this team spirit is unbelievable.
Oh, the spirit was excellent, but the football was excellent as well, Chick. I thought it was a great game. 2 teams trying to play football, a great advert. I think all the BBC viewers would have enjoyed that today.
I'm sure we all did. We all enjoyed it, I think, Jim. But got to ask you about Nacho Nova, another tremendous performance. We named him man of the match. Is he going to be a Dundee player much longer?
Well, I hope so, because I think with the strikers we've got back now, then I see us climbing the league. But he's a different class player. But I thought Matt Fotheringham today was outstanding, as was a lot of players. But for me, just delighted with the victory.
I think these Dundee fans are delighted to see you, Jim. Well done, thanks.
Yeah, Steve Lovell getting what proved to be the winning goal in a very entertaining second half particularly. It's 10 matches now since any team won the Dundee Derby by more than a single goal. That's how close they've been. Nacho Nova, not for the first time this season, the man of the match, if that is to be his final match in a Dundee jersey, and the rumours persist that he's Ibrox bound, and at least he's given the Dundee fans a victory to remember them by, and those fans in dark blue who've gone through pretty awful times the last few months can celebrate a Derby win today, and in the end, pretty well deserved. And of course it also lifts them in the Bank of Scotland Premier League as well. 3 very valuable points. Here's the table. Dundee in fact move above Dundee United and above Motherwell. They're up to 7th on 24 points. Let's take a look then at the memorable moments from the game. The first goal came after a moment of madness, as we've been calling it, from Brent Sancho. No excuse for it, Derek.
No, as we spoke of there, Charlie just teases him in there, a wee bit of acceleration, and he had a covering defender as well. No need to make that challenge at all. Great penalty for Dodgy. Don't expect him to score there. 217 goals now.
That's a remarkable record. This was early in the second half. A little bit of luck obviously with the deflection, Stuart, but Sancho does well.
Yeah, that's right. I think it'll be the happiest player on the pitch to be able to make a contribution to get Dundee back in the game. I mean, obviously, you know, it's a bad time for United to get caught cold. But over the piece in the second half, I thought Dundee dominated the game and they were definitely worthy winners.
What about Steve Lovell here? Chance had gone, and then what a great switch of feet there.
It was. His first touch was poor there. He managed to just adjust his feet well and just get a quick shot in there because the defender was right over. Great finish. Puts him right back in the match.
Terrific. So Dundee pick up the 3 points with a 2-1 victory. Let's hear from the man of the match. He's with Chick.
Nacho, that was a fantastic second half performance by Dundee, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it's the thing is working hard, you know. In the first half is Dundee United scored, you know, the penalty and more difficult, no. But it's the thing is continue, you know, in the second half strong mentally and play good football, you know, and 3 points, no.
I have to ask you about your future. So much speculation linking you with Rangers. What's happening?
I don't know. I don't know nothing, you know, about the Rangers. You know, it's my agent only. You know, now I is a player for Dundee. You know, and I only concentrate in my team. No, Dundee. No.
If you stay with Dundee, you'll be very happy to stay with Dundee.
Yeah, I happy here. You know, it's the fans and the club. You know. It's very good with me, you know, have a good friends, and the most important, no, enjoy the football.
And a very happy new haircut to see as well, Nacho. To go with that bottle of champagne with the man of the match.
Okay, thank you very much.
Well done. Thank you
very much.
Yes, well deserved. Having said that, Jim Duffy pointed it out. Mark Fotheringham was absolutely outstanding today, Stuart, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. I mean, his use of the ball was superb. I don't remember him giving a pass away in the second half. He was at the heart of all the good play that Dundee made. Gary Brady was very good alongside him, and I think they got a huge lift when Lovell came on. His pace was a big factor in the second half performance, and no, I mean, they definitely deserved to win the match.
Ian McCall's after-match comments are always interesting. I think he's still locked in the dressing room at Dens, but he'll be disappointed, obviously, with the way his team played. They were poor in the second half, United, I thought.
They were. I think we see them with the goal they lose, right? They're obviously they're 1-0 up at half-time. We've been saying, you know, everything's going well for us. Then to go out and lose a goal, concentration right at the start of the second half, we're really disappointed with that.
Yeah, and I think, other than United fans, I think most people in football will be pleased to see Dundee getting something after all they've been through, after all Jim Duffy's been through. There's a lot of fighting spirit there, and a lot of good football still, despite the players have lost, Stuart.
Well, they've lost some great players, but they've still got a good team there. I mean, we were the first team to play Dundee after they went into administration, and we spoke about it. There wasn't one player in their starting 11 who hadn't had a lot of experience of playing first-team football. So even though they've gone down the league with a few disappointing results, I think Jim Duffy touched on the administration, maybe affecting the players psychologically, but they're still good enough to do a lot of damage in this league.
No doubt about it. So it finishes 2-1 in the Dundee Derby. Victory goes to the home side.